Tommy Fanelli here, going to explain to you what you should find inside your LCHW50 box. So I need to break the seal on the box. All the boxes come sealed, so you always want to make sure they're sealed when you get it so someone else hasn't been tinkering with it. Inside the package, of course, you're going to have your owner's manual. Always make sure you hold on to that. There'll be 2 screws holding the lid down. You want to remove those 2 screws. Remove the lid, and inside you'll see a wiring diagram here also. Okay, inside the box itself you'll have a package of screws and nuts and wire ends to put on your ground wire for grounding it. You'll also have, this model here, you'll have your display. Now what's really unique about this display and this model is, no matter which way you mount this here, the display plugs in here. If I mount it this way, the display is reading correctly. But so let's just say I needed to mount this unit this way in the RV. So then I would take and plug the display in this direction, and it would read correctly. The little round, not completely round, but the little black sort of round items here, that's the top of your display. So whichever way you want to orientate it, that's what you want to do for the top. So this unit can mount in any direction. Doesn't matter, it can be upside down or whichever way you want to go with it. I'm going to remove the display for right at the moment. Display would be one of the last things that you put in. You never plug the display up or unplug it. Once the unit is powered up, you will blow the electronic board in there. A couple things to point out to you here for doing the install. On the sensors, there's a little arrow on this sensor here. That needs to be closest to the contactor. The one with the green tape, that goes on the black output wire which connects to T1. The other one has an arrow on it also. It points closest to the contactor, and that goes on T3, your other hotline. I'm just going to sit these over out of the way for at the moment. This is your surge protection board here. If it ever needs to be replaced, it just slides in and out and you unplug a few wires. This unit's all field serviceable. You do not have to remove it. If something goes wrong with it, parts can be shipped to you, parts come in and out, and it can be bypassed until parts get to you. The L side, L1, L2, and L3 is your input side. T1, T2, T3 is your output side. The thing you want to remember here is if you put it in backwards, you're not going to hurt the unit, but it ain't going to work. It won't light up, it won't do anything. Now there is a time adjustment on this here to where it comes from the factory set at 15 seconds before you get any power into the RV. If you want to change that, if your air conditioners don't have time delays built in them, you can change that by pulling this little black pin here, piece of plastic, just pull it off. You'll see 2 little metal wire pins sticking up there, and it'll change it to 2 minutes and 16 seconds for your time delay. I would suggest if you do take it off, take some tape, tape it inside the unit somewhere in case you ever want to move the surge protector to a different RV and it has a time delay in the air conditioners. You just slide it back on there. To bypass this unit is a little bit more difficult to do than the HW models because you have to physically go inside. There's a little blue jumper wire right down here. That wire, you cut that wire tie there and you plug it into this empty spade right here and it'll go into bypass. Now we do have a bypass kit to where you don't have to go inside, and I'm going to show that in a few moments also. So what we're doing is we're talking about hooking it up. Input is the L side, output is the T side. Okay? On the input side, you're going to go to L1 is your black wire coming from outside to pedestal. L2 is your white wire, which is the neutral wire. And L3 is the other hot line, which is red. And then your ground goes over here along with the ground lug that's in the package right here. And the green screw and nut, you bolt it to the side right there. On the output side, you're going to have the black, the T1, the white, the T2, the red, the T3. However, what you're going to do now is, before you put them in there, the one with the green, the sensor with the green tape on it, and the arrow right here, goes here, and the black wire goes through it before you hook it to T1. Once that's tightened down and snugged up, then you can attach your neutral wire, but the other sensor goes to the red hot wire with the arrow closest to the contactor. These can turn in any direction. It doesn't matter if they're this way or that way. It doesn't matter. It won't make a bit of difference. You do not wire tie them in place. You do not tape them in place. You just put the wire through it. That's all you actually have to do. This unit can mount in any direction. You'll have 4 mounting holes on each unit, 1 on each corner. And the other thing you want to make sure too is when you torque down your wire restraints, do not over torque them. You can pinch the wire, create a short, and have major problems. Bring it down to the wire snug, and that's all you need to do. And you've got this unit mounted into place. Now for this unit, as I mentioned, you had to plug the wire in over here in order to get into bypass. We do have a remote bypass switch kit available for this unit as an accessory. You're going to have a little bypass switch kit. On the side it has the bypass switch. As you can see here, down monitors it, push it this way, that puts it in bypass. So if something goes wrong with electronics, you don't have to go inside the box and do the wire like I was talking about. You just flip this switch. And then we troubleshoot it. Our techs are on call 7 days a week. We want you to call. Don't put it in bypass until you verify why, because if you put it in bypass and it is bad power, not the unit, you just burn up a bunch of stuff in your RV and wasted your money putting a surge protector or electrical protection in there if you're not going to use it properly. So to install this, it's very easy to install. It comes already hooked up just like you see right here. You have 2 wires here. All you're going to do is you're going to run it through where your main wires go. What you're going to do, once you run it through into the inside, you're going to cut this blue jumper wire here loose. You're going to unplug it from the bottom pin down here. Just pull it off. You're going to attach the red wire to that position there. Then you're going to attach the black wire onto this terminal here. Mount your switch box outside of the convenient place. Your installation is finished.